Hi everyone, this is Purnima. In this video lecture series of electrical machines and drives, today we are going to discuss about classes of motor duty. So before going to the classes of motor duty, so far we have discussed about what do you mean by drives, why the drives is needed, and what are the types of drives, and how the drives are heating and cooling curve, etc. So how what are the factors which influencing the choices of electric drives, etc. So here we can see the what are the classes of motor duties. First, what is the classes of motor duty? So motor duty, what do you mean by motor duty? Here, the motor duty is an amount of time the motor operate amount of the time the motor is operating under full load and how much the time is stopped. Here, the motor duty is the amount of the time the motor is operating under full load and how much the time it is stopped. The motor is operating in full load and how the motor is stopped. And here we have two types of duty. One is continuous duty. Next one is intermediate duty. So continuous duty means what? When the full load over 60 minutes at a time. For the 60 minutes, the motor should run in full load, not in an 50 percentage load or not in an 70 percentage load. It must run in full load. Intermediate duty. Here, what do you mean by intermediate? If the load must run for 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes it will be it will stop, and after 15 minutes it runs, and after 10 minutes it's stop, and it runs for 30 minutes, and after that 30 minutes the motor gets stopped, and intermediately it is continuously on off on off on off, or it's 60 minutes, whatever maybe. If 60 minutes it runs continuously, and it will be off for stop for 60 minutes, and after that it's on for 60 minutes, etc. This is an intermediate duty. Here we have two types of duty. One is continuous duty and next one is intermediate. These are major two types of duty. Here, when the comes to the types of so many types of duties, that is first duty is continuous duty. So what is the first duty is continuous duty, second duty is short time duty, and third one is intermediate period duty, and the intermediate period with starting. Here the content duty is in continuous. The motor runs continuous. Short time duty means the motor runs for particular time and it is goes to stop condition, and when it runs for particular time, it's run for it runs for a particular time, and it goes for stop mode, and it runs for start for continue. It runs for continuous modus. And the intermediate period duty, and intermediate period with duty starting, and intermediate period with starting and breaking. And here it is a continuous duty with intermediate period loading, and a continuous duty with starting and breaking, and continuous duty with periodic speed changes. So these are the types of the duties we have, and we can see one by one. The first duty is continuous duty. What do you mean by continuous duty? The constant load torque for continuous long time, and it is enough the motor torque to reach a steady state. The constant load torque for long time. So the load torque is constant for long time and is enough the motor to reach a steady state value. Here the constant motor losses will happen. So when the torque is constant and the loss is also constant. Here this type of duties where we have uses in paper drive mills and compressors and conveyors and fans. These are comes under the continuous duty. When the motor runs continuously and for 60 minutes or for an hour, for 2 hours, etc. So here the loss is also as a constant. Here we can see here we can the clear picture what because of when the load gets on, this is the load graph. First one is load graph. When the load gets on and reaches steady temperature, whatever loss is also got, and it is also constant. When the load get constant, what happens? The speed get constant. What happens? The losses also get constants. What about the temperature? The temperatures rises, and the heating, when the heating or the temperatures rises, and when the temperatures reaches its a maximum temperature. The temperature also reaches a maximum temperature. The N is operating under related condition. And yes, current connection, and yes, and theta is the maximum temperature that reaches the maximum temperature. Still, it reaches the maximum temperatures. What happens? The load increases and the speed get constants, and then operating under the conditions, and the loss is also get constant. The loss is also constant. The temperatures increases rise. Like here, the temperature heating curves. Okay, with respect to the time. With respect to the time. This is the first duty. So next duty is short time duty. What is short time duty? So operating for a short period and less than heating time constant of a motor, less than heating time constant of a motor. For long period, for long load period is so short, then the machine can't reaches its thermal equilibrium. Yes, the machine period is so short, it can't reaches its steady state temperatures. So the rest is so longer, the motor temperature drops to the ambient temperature. If the rest period is longer, what happens? The motor reaches to its ambient temperatures. So where these types of drives is in cranes drives and railway turntables. In crane drives in railway turntables, we are using these types of duty cycle drives. Here we can see the picture. In this picture, what happens is when the motor, when the load ons for particular time, when the load ons for particular time, there's a loss is also the loss is also maintained constant for the particular time. And what happens in that particular time, the temperature is also reaches to its maximum temperature. At a particular time, the temperature is also reaches to its maximum temperature. At the time after that, after the load is stopped, after the motor is stopped, the loss is also comes to the zero. What happens? The temperature it reaches to its cools and reaches to its ambient temperature. Temperatures reaches to its ambient temperatures. Okay, in this video, hope you will be seeing about two types of classes of duty. Remaining classes of duty we can see in next classes. Thank you.